So in this video I will talk about the line element, surface element and the volume element. In the last video we discussed about the direction of this r, theta and phi in the spherical coordinates, and we looked at that the direction of r is always in the direction of radius and it is always radially outward. Okay, so if you are at this point, you just draw the radius and go into the direction of the radius, you will find the direction of r cap. Now the direction of phi cap was the tangent to this horizontal circle. Okay, so I will call this horizontal circle for now, just to make this understand. Okay, so phi cap does not have any z component in this, so you just try to visualize whenever you will go into the direction of phi cap, you will be tracing or you will be making this horizontal circle. Okay, and you will be kind of making this cone. So this cone, if you take this cone, you will be making this cone if you will go into the direction of phi cap. So, and the outer surface of this cone would be this circle, horizontal circle. Okay, now I told you that if you are going into the phi cap direction or in any particular direction, then the other two parameters would be the constant. So if you are going into the phi cap direction, then the radius r and the theta, which is the angle from the z axis, would be constant. Just imagine you are going into this circle, then this angle theta would be always constant. Okay, whether you are at this point or at any other point in this sphere, the always theta would be constant. Okay, whenever you are going into the phi cap direction. Similarly, if you are going into the theta cap direction, you will be tracing this vertical circle. Okay, I will be calling this vertical circle, and whenever you are going into the theta cap direction, the radius r and the phi angle, which is the angle from our positive x-axis, will be the constant. So rest of the other two parameters will be constant whenever you are going into the any other direction. Okay, it is similar to the Cartesian coordinate. Whenever you are going into the y direction, then the x and z would be the constant. So this is the vice versa. Now let's look at the Cartesian coordinate in order to make it understandable better. So in the Cartesian coordinate, this was our x, y and z. Now the length of the infinitesimal small element, let's say we are at this point, and when we are going into the x cap direction, then we represented this small, very small length by dx, and when we are going into the direction of y, we represented this length by dy, and similarly for we were going into the direction of z, the length of this element we represented it by dz. Now, and let's look at for the volume element. So whenever we are considering any small volume in the xyz or the Cartesian coordinate, let's say this is our small volume element. Okay, and the volume of this small element, we represented it with dx, dy, dz, or I would not say we represented. If you will calculate the volume of this very small volume element, then you will find the volume of this small element dv is equal to dx, dy, dz, because the height is dz, this is kind of dy, and into the direction of dx. Okay, similarly if you want to calculate the surface area, so the surface area of this surface, it would be the dx, dz. Similarly for this, it would be kind of dz, dy. Yes, so now the surface area of this small element depends on the in which plane of the xyz coordinate you are. Okay, so if you are into the yz plane, then the area, this small area of this element would be dz, dy. Okay, so we calculated three things. The element dl vector in the Cartesian coordinate is always represented by dx I cap plus dy j cap plus dz, let me different color, dz k cap. Yes, it was the displacement vector in the Cartesian coordinate. Now the dV, the volume of the small element, we calculated dx, dy and dz, yes, in the Cartesian coordinate, and the dA depends on the plane in which you are, so it might be dx, dy, dy, dz or dz, dx if you are into the xz plane. Okay, so now the area would also have the direction. Whenever you are into the xy plane, the direction of the area would be into the z cap. It would be x cap and it would be y cap. Okay, but the volume does not have any direction. Okay, so volume is the magnitude only. Now similarly, let's talk about these factors for the spherical coordinates. Okay, so let me remove these things just to make the space. Now first of all, we will calculate the length of the elements in the individual direction. What I mean, if I am going into the r direction, then what will be the length of this small element? So let's say initially I am at this point. Okay, now if I am moving into the direction of r, now see the direction of r is this, yes, so I will be moving into the direction of such the radius, yes, so let's say I am moving into the direction of r cap. Now the length, I can represent this length by dr, yes, and this vector would be simply dr multiplied by the direction r cap. Okay, so you can say this is the dr vector, but we are considering only the magnitude here. Okay, so we just want to find the length of the displacement or the magnitude of the displacement vector. Okay, so this is kind of vector. When we are moving in a particular direction with a certain magnitude, we would call we are having a displacement vector. Okay, so this dr vector would be having the magnitude dr and the direction is r cap. Okay, so we will be considering only the magnitude. So the magnitude or the length of this displacement is dr. Now, okay, that is fine. It is in the direction of r cap. So it is kind of similar when we were moving in the x vector or y vector or z vector direction, then we were having the length dx, dy, dz. Okay, similarly here we are having the parameters as r, theta and phi instead of x, y and g in the spherical coordinates. Okay, so we just want to find the these length. So in the r vector direction, we found this length would be dr. Okay, now let's find the length of the element when we are moving in the direction of theta. Okay, so let me remove this. Now let's say we are moving into the direction of theta. Now what is the direction of theta? So as I said, when you will move into the direction of theta, you will be kind of tracing this vertical circle. Okay, as I discussed in this picture, you will be moving into the direction of theta and you will be tracing this vertical circle. So here also you will be tracing this circle. Okay, so here I have shown only the part of the sphere. It is not the complete sphere, but just imagine it is a kind of whole 3D sphere. Now from this point, let's say this is point P, you are moving into the direction of theta. Okay, and let's say I move a angle d theta from this point. If you will move d theta, we want to find how much length we have covered. So we want to find this element length. Okay, now before finding this length, let me give you some basic concept. So if you are having a circle, let's say the radius of this circle is capital R, and if you are moving a certain angle from this initial position to, let's say this is angle d theta, then the length of this arc would be r multiplied by d theta. Okay, so similarly we are having a length r initially, and we are initially at angle theta. Now from this angle theta, we are moving a very small angle d theta. D theta is very small compared to theta. And as I said, we are moving in the kind of this red circle. Okay, so just draw this circle. Now initially you are at this point and you are moving kind of this d theta distance. Okay, and initially you are at theta angle. Okay, from the z-axis. This is kind of z-axis. So the length of this arc or this small element would be small r times d theta. Yes, because the radius of this vertical circle would be small r. Okay, that is fine. So we have found now the length of the element into the direction of theta, which into the direction of r it was dr, and into the direction of theta we found it r d theta. Okay, now let's find the length of the element into the direction of phi. Okay, so similarly we will find that. So now here we will go into the direction of phi cap. Yes, and as I said in the last lecture, the direction of phi would be always parallel to the xy plane, and whenever you will move into the direction of phi, you will be tracing this horizontal circle. Okay, so here this circle is the direction of phi. The direction of phi would be always tangent to this circle. Okay, if you are at this point, then the direction of phi would be this. Okay, that is fine. Now let's say initially you are at angle phi. Okay, because we are initially at this point P, and from here we want to go into the direction of phi, and let's say we are moving a distance or the angle d phi. Okay, so from here, from angle phi, we want to go into the direction of phi cap, and we are moving the d phi angle. Then we want to find the length of the element that we will cover. So this is the length of the element we will be having. Yes, so we want to find this length. Now this is the similar concept. So this is the circle we will be tracing. Yes, and if we know the radius of this circle, this radius, and we know the angle is d phi, then we can easily get this length of the element. Now let's find this radius. Okay, so I'm making this triangle. Kind of consider this is the point O, this is the this is the point Q. Okay, and okay, we do not need to consider this point Q. Let's consider point P, and this is the let's point M. Okay, so just consider this triangle O, M and P. Okay, and this is the 90 degree. Okay, and this is the radius r, and this is the angle theta. Yes, so this distance would be r sin theta. Yes, so as I have mentioned here, this is the r sin theta. This distance or the radius of this horizontal circle would be r sin theta. Okay, now once we have the radius of this horizontal circle, we can say this this length of the element, this yellow portion, is simply r sin theta times the length or the angle we have moved. Angle we have moved is d phi. Okay, so in the direction of phi cap, we would be having the length of the element as r sin theta d phi. Yes, so these three lengths of the elements are similar concept as we were having in the Cartesian coordinate as dx, dy, dz. So now you can just compare. You cannot directly say if you are going into the direction of r, the length of the element would be d. If you are going into the direction of theta, let's say, you cannot say the length of the element would be d theta. No, as you were saying, when you are going into the direction of y, the length of the element would be dy. But it is not the same case in the case of the theta, because this is having some scaling factor r along with this d theta. Yes, so it is not d theta, it would be r d theta. Similarly, in the direction of phi, it would not be simply d phi, it would be along with r sin theta. Okay, so the displacement vector you can write as, so let me write it here. Displacement vector you can write as dl is equal to dr into the direction of r cap plus r d theta into the direction of theta cap plus r sin theta d phi into the direction of phi cap. Yes, so as we were having in the case of Cartesian coordinate, dl vector was dx I cap plus dy j cap plus dz k cap. Yes, this was the differential or the displacement vector in the case of Cartesian coordinate. Yes, it was the Cartesian coordinate. But in the case of spherical coordinate, we would not be having simply dr plus d theta plus d phi. We are having the scaling factor along with d theta and the d phi, which are the r and the r sin theta. Okay, so this displacement vector we have got. Now let's talk about the surface element and the volume element. For this, let me remove this. Now let's first talk about the surface element. Okay, so it is very simple. Once we have got the length of the element in each direction, we just have to multiply the length and the width in order to find the surface, and in order to find the volume of the volume element, we have to consider the length, width and the height. It is very simple. So we have got this length as r sin theta and d phi. Yes, so I have mentioned here also. Okay, so I can remove this, and this length we have got as r d theta. Yes, so the area of this surface would be the multiplication of these two. So it is kind of the area of rectangle, because the d theta and the d phi is very small. So you can consider these curvy looking arcs as the simple straight line. Okay. So the area, if you consider this as a rectangle, then the area would be multiplication of r sin theta d phi multiplied with r d theta. Yes, so it would be r square sin theta d phi d theta. Okay, and this area would be having the direction also. Okay, so let's calculate the direction. So r sin theta d phi was in the direction of phi cap. Yes, and similarly r d theta was having the direction of theta cap. Yes, now if you take the cross multiplication, you will find the direction and the magnitude. And magnitude we have found r square sin theta d phi d theta. And if you take theta cap cross phi cap, you will be finding this as r cap. Okay. Now here in this case, we are first taking the phi cap cross theta cap. So phi cap cross theta cap is simply minus r cap. So it depends. You can take the direction as inward direction or the outward direction, because it is always the ambiguous situation. What will be the direction of the area? But let me tell you, we always consider the outward direction. Okay, so it is the convention we are taking. Okay, so it would be direction. In this direction, the area will be having into the direction of r cap. Okay, so if you take this as a first vector and this as a second vector, and if you use the right hand rule, then you will be finding the thumb would be into the direction of r cap. Okay, so similarly, so now let's find the volume. Okay, let's find the volume. Now what would be the volume? So we have found the area Now we just have to multiply it with this height, and this is the height as dr. Yes, this is the height as dr. So we can just multiply the area with the height. So if you consider this as a cuboid or the rectangular prism, then the area or the volume of this small volume element would be length multiplied with the width multiplied with height. So it would be r sine theta d phi multiplied with r d theta and then multiplied with the height dr. Okay, so it would be r square sine theta d phi dr. So this would be dv, the volume of this small element, okay, the volume of this small element. This would be r square sine theta d phi d. So just you have to imagine the length of the element in particular direction. Okay, so just imagine if you are going into the theta direction, then length of the element, you should be able to imagine these lengths in the mind, because whenever you are solving a particular question, you need to imagine these sphere or these kind of geometries in your mind. Okay, so these are the, so we have found, let me write it here. So we have found the volume as r square sine theta d phi dr. Okay, so volume is just length multiplied with width multiplied by height if you consider each small surface as a rectangle. Okay, and the area was, now I am saying area will depend on the where you are in this 3D surface. So for now, for this surface we have calculated as area r square sine theta d phi, and area would be having the direction, and it was in the direction of r cap as we considered. Okay, so this is the thing. So I might not be very efficient in order to make you visualize these things, because I need little bit help of you in order to understand this topic, because you have to imagine these figures in your mind. Okay, so just practice these figures in your mind. Okay.